Fellow Dominicans, I am indeed proud to address you on this special occasion of Local Government Month, recognizing the importance and contribution of local government to Dominica's development. While local government has been with us for well over a century, this is the 34th year that we are observing Local Government Month, and we do so under the theme, A More Resilient Local Government That Delivers Quality Service. The role of local government is changing, and those involved must become familiar with the new demands being placed on councils, particularly in the context of the impact of climate change and successive weather impacts on our small island. Every aspect of community life is the business of local government, and while the council may have specific tasks and services they provide, the community leaders must make it their business to know what is going on in their jurisdiction and ensure that systems are in place to keep people safe. Over the last decade, it has become more obvious that communities around Dominica are confronting the effects of climate change in various forms. The impact of Hurricane Maria, and more recently, the trough system, which impacted the east and southeast of the island, impressed on us all an urgency to identify gaps and vulnerabilities in our respective villages around Dominica and take steps to build resilience against existential threats and hazards. This year, as we commemorate another milestone for local government, I must issue a clarion call to our community leaders to pay close attention to the vision and strategic practices expressed in the Climate Resilient Recovery Plan 2020 to 2030. Three key pillars in the plan are robust economy, strong communities, and collective consciousness, which are all within the scope of the local government authorities to enhance resilience at the community level. As Dominica is on a path to become the first climate resilient country in the world, intervention at the individual, family, and community levels will be the building blocks to attaining national resilience. Our development thrust has certainly changed, and each decision made about a development intervention must be informed by environmental risk assessment and careful analysis for limiting risks and vulnerabilities. Local government bodies will have to play lead roles in ensuring that community needs assessments are done and priority interventions are identified. The Climate Resilience Recovery Plan places heavy emphasis on establishing well-trained and managed disaster management committees. The ability to respond to emergencies at the community level in a prompt and efficient manner is highly dependent on the capacity of communities to do so. It means we will forever need volunteers who are trained and ready to serve in times of crisis. While critical services for disaster management is at a national level, local government must lead the way to ensure that communities are well served by a cadre of trained persons to be part of a community disaster management committee. It is the responsibility of these committees, working with the councils and other agencies such as CREED, to develop community disaster plans and to ensure that the necessary mechanisms are put in place to deal with any emergency or disaster. Not only should these disaster plans be developed, but they should be reviewed on a regular basis to ensure that the information is relevant and current. The Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development, through the Division of Local Government, has been working closely with the Climate Resilience Execution Agency, CREED, on an initiative referred to as the Community Emergency Readiness Initiative. This initiative will seek to develop community disaster management committees, disaster management plans for all communities, and the requisite equipment and supplies, including food, water, and backup power, to ensure that the communities can respond independently for at least 15 days after a major event or disaster. This initiative can only be successful if it is a collective effort in building resilience at the community level. Building community resilience requires a paradigm shift where councils are expected to be more involved in disaster risk management. Councils are well placed in communities to facilitate a number of services to the most vulnerable. That paradigm shift will include retraining, building of capacity, and ensuring that there are new programs that reach the most vulnerable. We must be mindful of social vulnerability and ensure that people are empowered to cater for themselves and their families, and councils can play an important role in the improvement of the quality of life of the most vulnerable. Several international agencies have seen local government as a critical partner for administering relief programs after a major disaster. I can recall very vividly how UNICEF and the World Food Programme worked with central government to administer a cash transfer to the most vulnerable after Hurricane Maria. More recently, the World Food Programme collaborated with government in providing a COVID-19 cash transfer to persons on public assistance and others who were adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The World Food Programme also provided relief in the form of a household income support to those affected by the trough system of November 6, 2022. The funds were administered by the councils, and from all reports, it has been a success. Other efforts going forward will include the mapping of community assets and livelihoods and maintenance of an active database of the local population. We must understand the importance of pre-impact data to decision making. We need to know where all our vulnerable people live and who needs evacuation, and to be able to account for everyone after a disaster. Local councils must keep track of the demographic changes so as to know exactly who needs to be served by any social, economic, or other programs. We must ensure that there is up-to-date data on communities so as to make it easier to plan and deliver critical services to our people. As we pay close attention to local government this month, I urge all of us to think deep about our commitment and resolve to play our part in making Dominica a safer and more resilient place to live. Because after all, for 6 months of the year, we must deal with the reality of the Atlantic hurricane season. We are aware of the numerous challenges faced in the effective and efficient administration of the councils. It is for this reason that government is fully committed to local government reform as part of its policy on decentralization. This policy seeks to provide and restore as appropriate the necessary powers, authority, and responsibilities to local authorities to allow them to be more responsive and efficient. I want to congratulate the Division of Local Government, Dominica Association of Local Community Authorities, and all councils for your hard work in promoting local government in Dominica and for your achievements over the years. I pray for continued divine guidance and strength as we all play our part in moving Dominica forward. With these few words, I wish to declare Local Government Month 2023 officially opened. May God bless all of you in the local government fraternity, and may God bless the Commonwealth of Dominica. I thank you.